She just wanted to feed her children, but was forced into this. Jennifer ran desperately through the busy streets of downtown Chicago, her heart heavy as she clutched the grocery bags to her chest. Her feet ached in her worn-out shoes, but she couldn't stop now. That's when she felt her foot catch on an uneven patch of sidewalk. The fall was inevitable. The bags flew from her hands, scattering rice, beans, pasta, and the few vegetables she'd managed to buy across the wet pavement. Jennifer fell to her knees, her palms flat on the cold ground, watching as people hurried past, some stepping around the spilled groceries, others accidentally crushing the package of cookies that would have been her children's breakfast. "No, please no," she whispered, scrambling to gather everything quickly. The tears came without warning. It wasn't just about the food on the ground, it was about everything. About the unexpected layoff after 15 years of dedication to the company. About her 3 children at home, Ethan, 8 years old, Lily, 6, and little Tyler, just 4, who had been eating stale cookies and drinking sugar water for the past 2 days to stave off hunger. An older woman stopped beside her. Jennifer looked up and saw a woman in her 60s, neatly styled grey hair, wearing an elegant grey wool coat. "Let me help you," the woman said, bending down with some difficulty. "Thank you. But you don't have to," Jennifer replied, embarrassed. "Of course I do. No one should go through this alone." Together they gathered what could still be salvaged. The rice was too scattered, but the beans were still in the package, just a little crushed. The pasta had survived almost intact. "My name is Barbara." The woman introduced herself as she helped Jennifer up. "Jennifer, thank you so much, Mrs. Barbara." "Just Barbara is fine. Are you all right? Did you hurt yourself?" Jennifer shook her head, though her right knee throbbed. She couldn't afford to be injured. "I need to go. My children are waiting for me." "Do you live far?" "In Ravenswood. I still have to take 2 buses." Barbara paused for a moment, studying the crumpled bags and Jennifer's exhausted expression. "Come, my car is right around the corner. I'll take you." "No, I can't accept. Please, I insist." Jennifer hesitated. She didn't know this woman, but something in her eyes radiated genuine kindness. And she was so tired, so desperate to get home. During the ride, Barbara drove in silence, occasionally glancing discreetly at Jennifer, who held the bags tightly as if afraid of losing them again. "You said you have 3 children." "Yes, Ethan, Lily, and Tyler. They're everything to me." "Their father? Left 2 years ago, never came back." Barbara tightened her grip on the steering wheel but said nothing. When they reached the old building where Jennifer lived, Barbara insisted on helping carry the groceries up to the 3rd-floor apartment. The stairs were narrow and dimly lit. "Mommy!" Tyler was the first to run to the door when they heard the key turn. All 3 hugged Jennifer, as if she'd been gone for days, not just a few hours. "Did you bring food?" Lily asked, her little eyes hopeful. "Yes, sweetheart. I'll make a nice dinner tonight." Barbara watched from the doorway, taking in the small but clean apartment, the old but well-kept furniture, the children's drawings stuck to the aging fridge. "Kids, this is Mrs. Barbara. She helped me today." "Hi, Auntie," Tyler waved. "Hello, darlings. You have such beautiful children, Jennifer." After helping put the groceries away, Barbara prepared to leave. At the door, she took Jennifer's hand. "I know we've just met, but you remind me of someone. Take my card. If you need anything at all, call me." Jennifer took the simple card, bearing only a name and phone number. "Thank you for everything, Barbara. You've already done too much. I haven't done too much. Take care of yourself." That night, while the children finally ate a warm plate of food, Jennifer couldn't stop thinking about that woman. There was something in her gaze, a deep sadness mixed with determination. 3 days passed. Jennifer sent out resumes for every possible job, but no responses came. The severance money barely covered the accumulated debts. The rent was due in a week. That's when the phone rang. "Jennifer, it's Barbara. How are you?" "Hi, Barbara. We're okay, thank you." "That's good. Listen, I have a proposal. Can we meet tomorrow?" "A proposal?" "A job. I have a son who needs special care. The person who looked after him had to move away. I remembered you, how caring you were with your children. Can we talk?" Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, back to the story. Jennifer felt her heart race. A job? Right when she needed it most? Of course we can. Great, I'll stop by tomorrow at 9. And Jennifer, the salary is very good, really good. The next morning, Jennifer left the children with the neighbor, Mrs. Margaret, a retired woman who sometimes helped in emergencies. She wore her best outfit, the one she used for important meetings at the company. Barbara arrived promptly in an elegant black car. This time, Jennifer noticed details she'd missed before. The discreet but obviously expensive jewelry, the designer purse, the soft yet sophisticated perfume. Ready? Barbara smiled. During the drive, they talked. My son's name is Robert. He's 42, but his mind is stuck at 8 years old. An accident when he was a child. I'm so sorry. It was a long time ago. I've learned to live with it. He's sweet, affectionate. He just needs constant supervision and someone patient. The car turned onto a tree-lined street in Gold Coast. The houses were enormous, with high walls and immaculate gardens. They stopped in front of an imposing gate that opened automatically. The mansion was even more impressive inside. Jennifer tried not to show how amazed she was by the marble floors, the paintings on the walls, the furniture that looked straight out of a magazine. Robert, Barbara called, come meet Jennifer. Heavy footsteps came down the stairs. Jennifer expected to see someone in a wheelchair or with a fragile appearance. But Robert was tall, strong, with light brown hair slightly graying, and eyes that, despite their childlike sparkle, held unexpected depth. Hi, are you going to be my new friend? He asked with genuine excitement. Hi, Robert. I hope we can be friends. Yes. Do you like to draw? I love to draw. Want to see my drawings? Robert, slow down. Let Jennifer talk to me first, Barbara interjected gently. Okay, Mom, but later she'll see my drawings, right? Of course I will, Jennifer smiled. In the office, Barbara was direct. The salary is $8,000 plus benefits. You'd work Monday through Friday, 8 to 6. You can bring your kids when they don't have school. I have a playroom that isn't used anymore. Jennifer nearly choked. $8,000? That was more than she'd made as a manager. Barbara, that's very generous. It's fair. Robert needs someone special, and I feel you're that person. When can you start? Whenever you'd like. Monday, then? Perfect. As she left, Jennifer noticed a detail she hadn't seen before. In the hallway, there were several family photos. In all of them, Barbara was with Robert, but in some older ones, there was another child, a girl. In the more recent photos, the girl was gone. On the way back, Barbara was quieter than usual. Jennifer, I need to be honest about something. Robert sometimes has episodes. Nothing violent, he would never hurt anyone. But he gets agitated, cries, screams. It's in those moments he needs the most patience and care. I understand. Don't worry, I know how to handle children in crisis. My Ethan went through a tough phase when his father left. Barbara nodded, her eyes watery. You're a mother. You'll understand, Robert. That night, Jennifer shared the news with her children. Will we have money for food every day? Lily asked. Yes, sweetheart. And for new clothes, school supplies, everything you need. And can we go with you sometimes? Aunt Ethan wanted to know. Mrs. Barbara said yes. She has a room full of toys. Yay! Tyler jumped with joy. On Sunday, Jennifer prepared everything for the new routine. She talked to Mrs. Margaret about picking up the kids from school on days she couldn't. She laid out their clothes, researched care for special needs people on her phone. Monday arrived full of expectations. Jennifer woke up early, made the kids breakfast, dropped them off at school, and took 2 buses to the mansion. Barbara greeted her with a warm hug. I'm so glad you came. Robert barely slept. He was so excited to see you. And so began a new chapter in Jennifer's life. Robert was truly special. He was fascinated by dinosaurs, loved classical music, and spent hours drawing. His drawings were surprisingly detailed for someone with his condition. Jennifer, look, I drew you. He proudly showed her on the 3rd day. The drawing depicted Jennifer smiling with impressive details of her face. "It's beautiful, Robert. You're very talented. Mom says I take after Dad. He used to draw too." "Is your father traveling?" Jennifer asked casually. Robert's face darkened. "Dad went to heaven a long time ago. I was little." "I'm so sorry." "It's okay. Mom says he's watching over us from there, and Julia too." Jennifer felt a chill. "Julia, was she the girl in the photos?" "Who's Julia?" Robert fell silent, rocking slightly. "I can't talk about Julia. Mom gets sad." Jennifer didn't press, but curiosity lingered. 2 weeks passed in harmony. Jennifer had learned Robert's routines, his quirks, his fears. He was terrified of thunder and loved hot chocolate at 3 in the afternoon. It was on a rainy Thursday that the first crisis happened. A particularly loud clap of thunder made Robert scream and run under the table. "No! No! It's happening! Again!" he cried desperately. Jennifer knelt beside him, speaking softly. "Robert, it's okay. It's just rain. You're safe here." Julia was in the rain. She fell. Mom couldn't catch her." Jennifer froze. What was he saying? "Shh, it's okay. Breathe with me. Let's count to 10. It took nearly an hour for Robert to calm down. When Barbara returned from her appointment, she found them on the couch, Robert asleep with his head in Jennifer's lap. "What happened?" Jennifer explained about the thunder and hesitated before mentioning what Robert had said about Julia. Barbara's face lost all color. "He talked about Julia?" "Only that she was in the rain. Barbara, I'm sorry if I'm overstepping, but Julia was my daughter," Barbara interrupted, her voice trembling. "She's been gone for 34 years. She was 8. Jennifer held Barbara's hand. "I'm so sorry." "It was a rainy day. We were at the park. She ran to get the ball that went into the street. The driver didn't see her in time." The heavy silence was broken by Robert stirring on the couch. He was 10. He saw it all. He was never the same after that day. Jennifer understood. The accident Barbara had mentioned wasn't Robert's. The trauma of seeing his sister die had frozen his mind at that age. "Barbara, you've been wonderful with him. You're the first person in years who can calm him during a crisis." That night, Jennifer held her children tighter. Life was so fragile, so unpredictable. The weeks turned into months. Jennifer and Robert settled into a comfortable routine. Sometimes she brought the kids over, and it was beautiful to see how Robert interacted with them, always kind, sharing his toys, teaching Ethan how to draw dinosaurs. It was on a June morning that Jennifer found Barbara crying in the garden. "Barbara, what's wrong?" Today would have been her birthday. Amanda would have turned 42. Jennifer sat beside her. "Do you want to talk about her?" And Barbara did. About the clever girl who loved ballet, who wanted to be a doctor, who cared for her brother with endless tenderness. "You know what's worse? Sometimes I forget the sound of her voice. That terrifies me." "It's normal, Barbara. It doesn't mean you love her any less." "My husband couldn't take it. He left 3 years later. Said he couldn't look at Robert without seeing the accident, as if it were his fault." Jennifer felt anger toward that man who abandoned his family when they needed him most. "You were strong. You raised Robert alone, gave him love, stability. But I lost so much. My career as a judge, friends who drifted away, my husband's family who blamed Robert. And you built something new. Look around, Barbara. This house breathes love." It was in that moment of vulnerability that Barbara made a confession. "Jennifer, I need to tell you something. When I saw you that day, collapsed on the street, trying to protect the food for your children, I saw myself 30 years ago. After the accident, I went through terrible hardships, medical leave, hospital bills, my husband leaving. There were days I couldn't feed Robert." Jennifer's eyes widened. "You too? I also ran desperately after food. I also fell. I was also helped by a stranger who changed my life. Mrs. Margaret, a businesswoman who offered me a job at her office. That's how I got back on my feet, returned to law, then became a judge. That's why you helped me. Partly, but also because I saw something special in you, the same determination, the same unconditional love for your children." That day, the bond between them grew even stronger. July brought unexpected challenges. Jennifer got a call that chilled her. Brian, her ex-husband, had returned. "I want to see my kids," he demanded over the phone. "You disappeared for 2 years, Brian. You didn't even send child support." "I've changed. I have a job now, a new life. I want my rights as a father." Jennifer hung up, trembling. How dare he show up now when she was finally getting back on her feet? The next day she told Barbara about the call. "Can he just show up like that?" Barbara asked, concerned. "Legally, he's the father. We never formalized anything in court." "You need a lawyer. I know the best." "Barbara, I can't afford—" "Don't worry about that. Robert adores your kids. They're the joy of his afternoons. I won't let anything threaten that happiness." The lawyer, Mr. Thompson, was efficient and direct. He abandoned the home and the children, didn't pay support. We have strong arguments, but he could claim he's changed, that he's stable. No, but the kids don't even remember him. Tyler was 2. "I understand your concern. We'll prepare a solid defense." The following weeks were tense. Brian kept calling, showing up at the kids' school, causing scenes. "Mommy, why did that man say he's our dad?" Lily asked, confused. "It's a long story, sweetheart, but don't worry, Mommy will handle it." Robert noticed Jennifer's tension. "You're sad," he said one day while they were drawing. "Just a little worried, that's all." "Is it because of the bad man?" "I heard Mommy talking on the phone. He's not a bad man, Robert. It's just complicated." "Does he want to take Ethan, Lily, and Tyler away?" Jennifer swallowed hard. "He's not taking anyone. Promise, I like when they come over. Tyler taught me a new song." "I promise I'll do everything to protect them." Robert took her hand. "Mum says we protect the people we love. I love you all." The simplicity and purity of that declaration made Jennifer cry. The reconciliation hearing was scheduled. Jennifer was terrified. Brian showed up well-dressed, accompanied by a young woman. His new girlfriend, Jennifer assumed. "I just want my rights," he told the judge. "I made mistakes, I admit it, but I've changed. I have a steady job. I own a house now. I can give my kids a better life." "Better?" Jennifer couldn't hold back. "Where was this better life when Tyler had a fever and we had no money for medicine? When Ethan cried asking why his dad left?" "Jennifer, please," her lawyer calmed her. The judge asked to speak with the children privately. That was the hardest part for Jennifer, waiting outside, not knowing what her kids were saying. When they came out, Ethan was holding his siblings' hands tightly. "Mum, we said we want to stay with you." He spoke with a seriousness beyond his 10 years. The judge ruled for supervised visits every 2 weeks, with the possibility of review in 6 months. "It's fair," Mr. Thompson said afterward. "He didn't get the shared custody he wanted." But Jennifer knew the battle was far from over. The first visit was a disaster. Brian took the kids to a mall, showered them with expensive gifts, promised trips. "He said his house has a pool," Tyler said excitedly, "and that Heather makes chocolate cake every day," Lily added. Jennifer's heart ached, but she smiled. "That's great, my loves. Did you have fun?" Ethan stayed quiet. Later, when his siblings were asleep, he sought out his mother. "Mom, he said you wouldn't let him see us, that you were the one who made him leave." "Oh, Ethan," Jennifer hugged him. "That's not how it happened, sweetheart." "I know. I remember him yelling, breaking things. I remember you crying in secret. You were so little, but I remember, and I won't let him lie to Lily and Tyler." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot for those of us just starting out. Now continuing. The visits continued, growing more unsettling. Brian started questioning the kids about Jennifer's life, where she worked, how much she earned. It was Barbara who noticed the pattern. He's gathering information to request a custody review, to argue he has better financial conditions. "But I have a job now." "Yes, but he could claim it's temporary, that you depend on favors." Jennifer felt desperation rising. Could she really lose her kids now that she'd finally found stability? Robert, with his unique insight, tried to cheer Jennifer in his own way. "Look, I drew our family," he showed her one day. In the drawing, they were all together: Robert, Barbara, Jennifer, Ethan, Lily, and Tyler. In the sky he'd drawn 2 figures. "Who are those?" Jennifer asked. "Dad and Amanda. They watch over us from up there." Barbara saw the drawing, and her eyes filled with tears. "Family," she murmured. It was on an ordinary afternoon that the unexpected happened. Jennifer was preparing Robert's snack when the doorbell rang. Barbara had gone to a doctor's appointment. A woman in her 40s stood at the door. She had Barbara's eyes. "You must be Jennifer. May I come in? My name is Amanda." Jennifer nearly dropped the tray. "Amanda, but—" "I know what you're thinking," the woman said. "It's a long story." Dazed, Jennifer led her to the living room. Robert was in his room, listening to music. "Barbara said, Amanda, that your daughter had died? That's what she's believed for 34 years. What do you mean?" Amanda took a deep breath. "I was 8. The accident happened, yes, but I survived. I was in a coma for months. When I woke up, I remembered nothing, not even my name." Jennifer covered her mouth with her hands. "A family adopted me. I grew up in another state. Only 2 years ago, through a DNA test from one of those ancestry websites, I discovered my true identity. Oh my God, Barbara needs to know." "Wait," Amanda held her arm. "I've been watching you all for weeks. I've seen how happy she is, how well Robert is cared for. I've seen you with your children. I'm afraid of destroying all of this." "Destroying? Amanda, you're her daughter. She still cries for you to this day. What if she doesn't believe me? What if the shock is too much? Robert, how would he react?" Before Jennifer could answer, they heard footsteps on the stairs. "Jennifer, do we have a visitor?" Robert appeared in the doorway. He stopped, staring at Amanda, his eyes widened. "Am?" he whispered. Amanda began to cry. "Hi, Rob. It's me. You came back. You came back." Robert ran to hug her. "I knew you'd come back, I told Mom, but she just cried." Jennifer watched the scene, tears streaming down her face. How had Robert recognized her after all this time? "You have the same little mole," Robert pointed to Amanda's neck, "and the same smell. Remember when we used to play astronaut?" "I remember, Rob. I remember everything." The sound of the front door alerted them. Barbara had arrived. "Jennifer, Robert, is everything—" Barbara stopped in the living room doorway, her face losing all color as she took in the scene. "Mom," Amanda said softly. Barbara staggered. Jennifer rushed to steady her. "No, it can't be." "It's me, Mom. I survived. But the hospital, the death certificate, the funeral, there was a terrible mistake. 2 girls were admitted the same day. In the chaos, the records got mixed up. When I woke up months later, the family that adopted me already had all the paperwork. They were told I had no family." Barbara collapsed onto the couch, shaking violently. 34 years. I thought I'd lost you. Forgive me, Mom. When I found out the truth, it took me a long time to gather the courage to look for you. I was afraid. Afraid? Afraid I wouldn't be accepted. Afraid of causing more pain. Afraid you'd moved on. Robert sat between them, holding each of their hands. Family together again, just like my drawing. Barbara finally embraced Amanda, and the 2 cried years of pain, guilt, and longing. Jennifer discreetly slipped into the kitchen, giving them privacy. Half an hour later, Barbara called her. "Jennifer, please stay. You're part of this, part of our family." The next few hours were filled with stories. Amanda shared about her life. She was a pediatrician, married, with 2 teenage children. She'd first searched hospital records, then hired a private investigator, until she finally found Barbara. "I watched you all for weeks before I found the courage. I saw Jennifer caring for Robert with so much love. I saw her children bringing joy to this house." "Why today?" Barbara asked. "Why did you decide to come today?" "Because last night I dreamed of Robert. He was calling me. I know it sounds crazy, but I dreamed of Am," Robert confirmed excitedly. "I told her to come home." Goosebumps filled the room. As night fell, Jennifer needed to pick up the kids. Amanda offered to drive her. "I need to meet these children who brought new life to my mother and brother." In the car, Amanda confided, "You know, Jennifer, I followed the drama with your ex-husband, too." "You what?" "Sorry for intruding, but I needed to be sure about who was caring for my family. He's not a good man. I know that." "No, you don't know everything. That Heather, she's married. Her husband has no idea. And those promises of a good life? He's drowning in debt. He wants the kids for the government checks and to impress Heather." Jennifer felt sick. "How did you find this out?" "I'm a doctor at a public hospital. Heather brought her son in last week. We talked. She didn't know who I was. She bragged about her wonderful boyfriend, showed photos. I recognized Brian. Oh my God. I have proof. Photos, screenshots of conversations I managed to get. If you need them for the case." Jennifer began to cry, but now they were tears of relief. The kids loved Amanda instantly, Tyler especially. Was fascinated. "Are you a real doctor, the kind that fixes boo-boos?" "Yes, little one, a children's doctor." "Cool. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor too." On the way back to the mansion, the kids chatted excitedly with Amanda. Jennifer watched through the rearview mirror, her heart warmed. When they arrived, Barbara and Robert were waiting at the door. "Kids!" Robert waved happily. "Let's celebrate. Amanda's back." The evening was magical. Barbara prepared a special dinner. Robert showed Amanda all his drawings, and the children ran around the house. It was as if the years of separation had never existed. Jennifer, Barbara, called her into the kitchen. "Thank you. For what?" "For everything. For taking care of Robert. For bringing joy, for being here today. If it weren't for you, Amanda might never have found the courage." "Barbara, I'm the one who should thank you. You saved my life. We saved each other." The following weeks were about adjustment. Amanda came almost every day, reconnecting with Robert, getting to know Jennifer and the kids better. She brought her own children, shy teenagers who were quickly charmed by their special uncle. It was during one of these afternoons that Barbara made a surprising proposal. "Jennifer, Amanda and I talked. We want to formalize something." "Formalize? You and the kids are our family now. We want to make sure nothing, not your ex, not anything, can threaten that," Amanda continued. "As a doctor and with Mum's connections, we can prove that Brian isn't psychologically or financially fit for custody, but we want to go further." "How so?" "Mum wants to establish you as Robert's legal guardian should anything happen, and we want to set up an educational fund for Ethan, Lily and Tyler." Jennifer couldn't speak. "It's too much." "I can't accept." "You can and you will," Barbara was firm. "It's the least we can do. You gave my son back to me." She looked at Robert drawing with the kids. Not the Robert I had before, but a happy, fulfilled Robert. "And now, indirectly, you brought Amanda back too." The custody review hearing arrived. Brian showed up confident until he saw Amanda seated as a witness. "Who's she?" he whispered to his lawyer. Jennifer's lawyer, now a full team provided by Barbara, presented the evidence. Screenshots showing Brian lying about his situation, proof of the affair with Heather, a history of unpaid debts. Amanda testified as a doctor about the psychological harm the kids could suffer from sudden changes. Especially the youngest, Tyler. At just 6 years old, he's formed secure bonds in his current environment. Removing him would be traumatic. But the decisive moment came when the judge asked to hear from the kids again. Ethan, now older and more confident, was clear. "Your Honor, my father had 2 years to be a dad. He chose not to be. Now we have a real family. Mrs. Barbara, Robert, Aunt Amanda. They love us every day, not just when it's convenient." Lily was even more direct. "Uncle Brian's nice, but he lies. He said he lives in a big house, but Aunt Amanda showed us it's not true. Why does he lie to us?" Little Tyler melted hearts. "I like when he brings presents, but I love Mommy. And Robert's my best friend. I don't want to be away from them." The judge's decision was swift. Visits reduced to once a month, supervised by a professional. Brian stormed out of the hearing, furious. "This isn't over," he shouted. "Mr. Brian," the judge warned. "One more outburst and I'll suspend visits entirely." Outside, Jennifer finally breathed a sigh of relief. Her kids ran to hug her. "We did it, Mom," Ethan cheered. "We get to stay together." Lily jumped. "Forever," Tyler finished. Barbara hugged them all. "Forever," she confirmed. The months flew by. The house in Gold Coast had truly become a home for everyone. Jennifer officially moved into the guest wing with the children, making daily routines easier and bringing more stability for all. Robert blossomed with the constant presence of the kids. He began speaking, more expressing complex emotions, and even ventured out more often, always with Jennifer nearby. It was during a park outing that the miracle happened. They were all together. Barbara, Amanda with her family, Jennifer with the children, Robert. A dog ran toward Tyler, who got scared. Robert, who was usually afraid of animals, rushed and stood in front of the boy. "Don't hurt my nephew," he shouted firmly. Everyone froze, stunned. Robert had acted on instinct, protecting Tyler, overcoming his own fear. "Rob, you were so brave." Jennifer hugged him. "I protect family," he said simply. "That's what we do." Barbara cried silently. Her psychiatrist had said Robert would likely never progress, but love, companionship, and a sense of purpose had made the impossible happen. Amanda, watching the scene, made a decision. "Mom, Jennifer, I have something to propose. My husband got a job offer abroad. We were considering—" But, Barbara asked, apprehensive. "But I found you all, and I realize no amount of money is worth more than family. We're staying." "Are you sure?" Jennifer asked. "It's a big opportunity." "The greatest opportunity of my life was getting my family back, and that includes you and the kids, Jennifer. You're part of us now." That night, as she tucked the children into bed, Jennifer reflected on the journey. From that desperate woman running with shopping bags to here, how much had changed. "Mom," Lily called, "are you happy?" "Very happy, sweetheart." "Why?" "Because you don't cry in secret anymore, and you smile for real." Jennifer hugged her daughter. "It's because we found our real family." "Mrs. Barbara and Robert and Aunt Amanda?" "Yes. Family isn't just about blood. It's about who chooses to stay, to care, to love." Ethan, listening from the next bed, added, "So we're a big family now?" "The biggest and best family," Jennifer confirmed. "Cool," Tyler murmured sleepily. "Love big family." A year later, life had settled into a comfortable routine full of joy. Jennifer had been promoted. She wasn't just Robert's caregiver anymore, but the manager of the foundation Barbara created to help families with special needs members. The foundation operated from part of the mansion, now transformed into a support center. Jennifer coordinated programs, workshops, and support groups. Her personal experience, both as a single mother and caring for Robert, made her perfect for the role. Robert became the foundation's unofficial ambassador. He welcomed visitors with joy, showed off his drawings, and inspired other families to look beyond limitations. "Jennifer," he called one day, "look who came to visit." It was his old childhood art teacher, now retired. "I heard about your work. Robert, do you remember me?" "Professor Williams, you taught painting. I was little." The teacher was moved. "You remember, after all these years?" "Of course I remember. You said my dinosaur drawing was special." Barbara, watching, whispered to Jennifer, "He's remembering things from before the trauma. The doctor said that was nearly impossible." "Love heals," Jennifer replied. "Love and the security of being accepted as you are." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. The foundation grew quickly. Families from all over Chicago sought help, guidance, or simply a place where they wouldn't be judged. It was on one of these busy afternoons that Jennifer received an unexpected visitor, Brian. "What are you doing here?" she asked, tense. He looked different, thinner, worn down, humble. "To talk, that's all, please." Against her instincts, Jennifer led him to a private room. "Heather left me," he began. "Her husband found out. I lost my job. I lost everything." Jennifer waited in silence. "I know I don't deserve pity, but I needed to say you were right about everything. I didn't change, I just pretended, and I almost ruined my kids' lives because of my ego." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I need you to know I'm leaving. For the West Coast, to start over. I won't bother you all anymore." "What about the visits?" "I'll give them up officially. The kids deserve peace. They deserve the family you built for them." Jennifer studied the man in front of her. He wasn't the arrogant Brian she once knew. "They're your kids too, Brian. They always will be." "No, I'm just the man who fathered them." You're their mother and father, and they have more family now than I could ever give them." He stood to leave but paused at the door. "Jennifer, thank you for not letting them hate me." Ethan. "Told me you never spoke badly of me to them. Hate only poisons the one who feels it." Brian nodded and left. Jennifer never saw him again. But years later, Ethan would receive a letter with a sincere apology and the deed to a small savings account his father had made for each child. Life went on. Ethan became a talented artist, influenced by Robert. Lily discovered a calling for medicine, inspired by Amanda. Little Tyler, grew up wanting to be a teacher for special needs children. Robert, at 50, held his first art exhibition. His dinosaur drawings had evolved into complex works, blending innocence and depth. The show was a success, with all proceeds going to the foundation. On opening night, he gave a speech no one expected. "I know I'm different. My mind doesn't work like everyone else's, but that doesn't make me less." Jennifer taught me that. She sees me as Robert, not as a problem. My nieces and nephews, he pointed to Ethan, Lily, and Tyler, now young adults, treat me as their uncle, not as someone sick. Mom and Amanda love me as I am. That's family. That's love. And love works miracles. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. Barbara, now 80 but still active, hugged Jennifer. "Remember when you dropped the groceries? Who'd have thought we'd get here?" "Feels like another life," Jennifer replied. It was another life. We were reborn together. Amanda joined the hug. 3 strong women brought together by fate. 4, Lily chimed in. "Don't forget me." 5, a young voice added. It was Madison, Amanda's daughter, now a doctor like her mother and working at the foundation. 6, Tyler appeared. "Men are part of this too." 7, Ethan added. 8, Robert shouted, running into the group hug. The photo of that moment, taken by a visitor, would become the foundation's symbol. 8 people, of different ages, different stories, united by choice, by love, by resilience. That night in the mansion that had witnessed so many transformations, Jennifer put the kids, now adults but always her babies, to bed one last time before Ethan moved into his own apartment. "Mom," he said, "you know my first happy memory?" "What?" "You coming home with food after that day. I remember your scraped knee, the spilled rice, but mostly your smile when you said you'd make a special dinner." "Oh, Ethan, you never gave up, Mom, even when it would have been easier. Thank you for that." Lily hugged Jennifer. "I'll miss this when I'm off at med school." "Me too," Tyler agreed. "But we'll always be together, right? All of us?" "Always," Jennifer promised. Distance doesn't separate family. From the next room, they heard Robert, softly singing, a song Amanda used to sing when they were kids before the accident. He remembered. After all these years, the happy memories were coming back. Jennifer stepped into the garden, where Barbara was gazing at the stars. "What are you thinking about?" Jennifer asked. "The day I found you, how the universe conspired to bring our stories together." "You saved my life, Barbara." "No, my dear. We saved each other. You gave me purpose when all I had was guilt. You brought joy where there was only routine. And without knowing it, you created the space that brought Amanda back. It was Robert who recognized her, because you taught him to see with his heart. Before you, he was stuck in the past, trapped in his trauma. You brought him into the present." They fell silent, watching the stars. "You know," Barbara continued, "I spent years blaming myself for the accident. If only I hadn't taken the kids to the park, if I'd held Amanda's hand tighter, if... But now I understand it all happened as it should have." "How so?" "If Amanda hadn't gone through what she did, she wouldn't be the amazing doctor she is today. If I hadn't suffered that loss, I wouldn't have found the strength to raise Robert alone. If you hadn't fallen that day, our paths would never have crossed. That's a beautiful way to see things. It's the only way that makes sense. Every pain prepared us for the joy that would come. Every tear watered the garden where we bloom now." Jennifer took Barbara's hand. "I love you, like the mother I never had. And I love you like the daughter I thought I'd lost twice. Because Amanda came back, but you also arrived. I gained 2 daughters." Amanda appeared at the door. 3 women stargazing, can I join? Always, Barbara opened her arms. The 3 stood there in comfortable silence, each lost in thought but united in presence. Mom, Amanda broke the silence, there's something I need to tell you. What? Remember how I said I searched for you for so long? Yes. I didn't tell you everything. A year before I found the courage to show up, I saw you at a restaurant. Jennifer was with the kids, you were with Robert. Everyone was laughing, happy. Why didn't you come closer? Jennifer asked. Because I saw something I hadn't seen on my mother's face in years. Peace. And I thought, who am I to ruin that? Oh, Amanda. But then I kept watching. I saw Jennifer fighting her ex-husband. I saw the desperation, the strength, the bond between you all, and I realized I wouldn't ruin anything. I'd be part of it. And you were, Barbara confirmed. You completed our circle. A sound came from inside the house. Robert playing the piano, another skill he'd developed with everyone's support. Beethoven, Amanda recognized. Moonlight Sonata. He plays when he's happy, Jennifer explained. He says the notes are like feelings he can't put into words. Then he must be very happy, Barbara smiled, because he's playing perfectly. And he was. The music flowed through the night, wrapping around the house, the garden, the 3 women who, against all odds, had become family. Years later, when Jennifer would write her memoirs at the request of the foundation, now international, she'd begin with these words, I just wanted to feed my children. That was all that mattered in that moment of desperation, running through the streets of Chicago with bags that weighed more than hope. I never imagined that fall, both literal and figurative, would be the start of my rise. I didn't dream that a stranger paying for my groceries would weave a web of love embracing not just my kids, but creating a family that defied any traditional definition. Barbara offered me work, but gave me purpose. Robert needed care, but taught me acceptance. Amanda returned from the dead, bringing healing where there had only been wounds. My children, who only wanted food, gained grandparents and uncle cousins, a foundation of love no money could buy. And Brian, the man who abandoned us, unintentionally gave us the greatest gift, the chance to prove that family isn't made by obligation or blood, but by the daily choice to love, care, and stay. Today, when I see Ethan painting beside Robert, Lily saving lives like Amanda, Tyler teaching special needs children with the patience he learned from living with his heart's uncle, I understand that every tear was worth it. My children's hunger that day was real, urgent, desperate. But there was a greater hunger in all of us, a hunger to belong, to love, to be accepted as we are. And it was that hunger that nourished us, that made us grow, that transformed us into the family we are today. I just wanted to feed my children. And I ended up feeding souls, mine, theirs, and everyone fate placed in our path. Because that's what love does. It multiplies when shared, grows when given, heals when embraced. And so from that desperate run emerged a journey of hope that continues to this day, step by step, hand in hand, heart to heart. The book would become a bestseller, but the greatest success was seeing families in similar situations finding strength in the story, seeking help, creating their own webs of support. Jennifer, now the executive director of the Barbara and Robert Foundation, often began her talks with the same line. I fell, literally and figuratively, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because sometimes you have to fall to learn how to fly. You have to lose everything to discover what truly matters. You have to be hungry to learn how to nourish not just the body, but the soul. And in Chicago, in a mansion that became a home, a support center, and a symbol of hope, 8 people continued to prove every day that family is a verb, not a noun. It's action, not condition. It's choice, not destiny. Robert, at 60, still drew dinosaurs, but now they flew. When asked why, he smiled with childlike wisdom. Because Jennifer taught me that everyone can fly. You just need love on your wings. And in that house, love was never in short supply. Multiplied, shared, renewed each day, proving that miracles exist. They just disguise themselves as ordinary people, making extraordinary choices to love beyond circumstances. The final scene of this true story happened on an ordinary morning. Jennifer woke early, as always, and went to check every room, a habit she never lost, even with her grown children. Ethan slept in the guest room, home for the weekend. Lily studied for an important residency exam. Tyler prepared lessons for his special needs students. In Robert's room, she found him awake, drawing. "Good morning, Rob. Didn't sleep?" "I did, but I had a beautiful dream and wanted to draw it before I forgot." "What dream?" "All of us flying together, like a family of birds. You in front, showing the way." Jennifer hugged him, moved. "You know, Rob, I think your dream is already real." "I know," he smiled. "That's why it's beautiful." From downstairs, they heard Barbara calling them for breakfast. Amanda had already arrived with her family. It was Sunday, reunion day. Walking down the stairs hand in hand with Robert, Jennifer thought again about that fateful day. How an apparent tragedy turned into a blessing. How despair became hope. How strangers became family. "Jennifer?" "Robert?" called. "Yes?" "Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me, really seeing me, for making me family." "Rob, you were always family. We just had to find each other." And so, with the smell of fresh coffee, the sound of laughter, tight hugs and unconditional love, another day began in that house where the impossible became routine, where love proved stronger than any adversity, where a woman who just wanted to feed her children ended up feeding dreams, healing wounds, and building a legacy of hope that would last for generations. Because in the end, that's what it was all about. Not just surviving, but living. Not just feeding the body, but nourishing the soul. Not just forming a family, but being family, in the broadest, most beautiful, truest sense of the word. And at that Sunday table, with seats for everyone and always room for one more, Robert's prophecy came true every day. Love works miracles. It really did. The end of the story. Dear listener, we hope this story touched your heart as deeply as it touched ours. Let us know in the comments. Do you believe family goes beyond blood ties? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more heartwarming stories.